episode of the DSP. As always, I'm your host, Josh. This episode is brought to you by Great Lakes Disc. Whether you're looking for cool new gear or your new favorite disc, Great Lake Disc has what you need. Click the link in the link tree, and you will see the Great Lakes Disc link. Click that and start your shopping today. While you're on the DSP tree, you will also see a link for Idio Sports. If you want to take your game to the next level, make sure you get Idio shoes on your feet, the only disc golf shoes made by disc golfers for disc golfers. Also, use my discount code DiscSeeker to save money on your next order. So tonight's guest is a returning guest for the first time. Well, yeah, first time returning guest. So, Justin, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Josh? How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good, doing good. So before we deep dive into the tournament that we both got excited about, we're texting each other throughout the whole tournament all weekend long. So before we deep dive into that, so let's catch up. So what's new with you? How's the new channel going?
What's up? What's up? Yep. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Justin. I just started a YouTube channel. It's Chain Theory DG. Yeah, that's basically it about me. No, I'm just kidding. So actually, I just want to talk about the first time on here. So I think it was almost a year ago now, maybe
Yep.
even longer. Wow. And at that point, I was just working on the backhand, really still a beginner in the game, just trying to take everything in. Since then, I don't have an off season living in Florida, so I've been able to play every single weekend. I've hit a lot of improvement, not to the point where I want to be quite yet. I'm shooting pretty good rounds I'm comfortable and confident with. But once I started getting more and more comfortable, I started my YouTube channel with one simple goal. The entire goal of my channel was just to make videos that I like to watch, right? So if you check out my channel, you're gonna see a little bit of everything so far. Only a month or 2 months in so far. But I have review videos, some battles, just fun stuff I like to watch. And I haven't made a video in the past week actually. So a little announcement here. I have a series coming out. I didn't even tell you about this yet, Josh.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun. We are coming up on the year anniversary of my favorite tournament. So I played what's called the Lake County Clash. It's my home course, two rounds B tier tournament. Last year, do I want to spoil a video? Yeah, of course. Why not? So a recap of last year and how my clash went. And spoiler for my video, I choked away my first ever win. I don't have a win. I was leading by 2 strokes going into the second round, and that entire tournament taught me about mental game and how important it is to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to disc golf because one mistake turns into two and it spirals and it just keeps on going from there. So yeah, so we're coming up on a year anniversary of that. I've put in a lot of work in the past year. I've had a few tournaments here and there, not really many. I've been really just working on my game, not really worrying about competing at the moment. And yeah, so I have videos that are going to cover your mental game, how to build a tournament bag. I'm going to be talking about how to do field work, just everything that you want to watch or want to learn about when it comes to either your first tournament or your first few. Just going to be covering those and super excited to see how I compete. And last thing to cover about the tournament. So it's at my home course, right? We have 2 different rounds, same exact course. This year's different. So we have the Tom Selinsky's Masters coming in town, and we've built well, not we, but the Lake County Disc Golf Club has built an entire 18-hole course just for Masters. So it's a temporary course. It's awesome. It's super long, very, very difficult, wooded, bunch of fun. And they're using that for the Clash as well. So instead of it just being the Clash, now it's called the Super Clash. It's going to be so much fun. I'm competing on a course I don't know and a course I do know. So there's going to be different types of challenges. One of my videos is going to be a practice round. How do you prepare for a tournament in which, or on a course you just don't play at very often? So I'm just super excited for the next few weeks. And this is the only time I'm going to plug a subscription. All right, this is it. Okay, this is it. So this is a spoiler for any of you MVP fans. I have a giveaway coming very soon with 2 Proton
Ooh.
Bocas. These are selling for over $100 right now, which is just ridiculous. These are both being given away very soon, so just be on the lookout for that. I didn't even tell you to subscribe, but I did plug my channel, so I'm sorry.
Make sure you just subscribe to his channel and help him grow. Definitely.
Appreciate you, Josh.
So when you showed that disc, it made me remind me of remember your first video when you just pulled it that out of the bag, he just rolled it. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. I actually showed Simon that clip. So I played at the Supreme Flight Open Pro Am, played with all of the best pros. And I probably should make a video about that. I got so many tips just from the pros, but I didn't do it to like get content. I didn't record anything. I wasn't trying to, get clicks because I played with pros, things like that. But no, I actually showed Simon that clip and he thought it was hilarious because he was like, "You bag the clear bokeh? Like those are collectibles." I was like, "You want to see me actually use it?" It was
That's
so much
awesome.
fun. And I got a name drop one time because
Go ahead.
I played on a team with Andrew Marweed, the best putter in the world, bar none. And I played with Holland Hanley, the best
Ooh.
FPO player in the world. Those were my teammates. And if you ever think, listen, this is motivation for a second, because I watched them firsthand. If you ever think you're going to go pro, you're not. They're just different. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But they are so good, Josh. Holland hits her lines. It's incredible. And the one thing I actually want to give a little bit of a tip because this is what I picked up on between amateurs and professionals, right? I was playing with one of my best friends. His name is Joe. We actually got paired together on the same quads team,
Ooh.
which was really cool. So we always play. We play every single weekend together. So we're caddying, picking discs. We're always talking through shots. And like for example, there was a 300-foot shot. It was wide open, and me and him are running through everything we can do. We could go fairway, we can go control driver, or we can even go distance if we give it a little height. Right? It's a 300
Yeah.
foot shot. We have to get there. And for Holland Hanley, it was a buzz, and for Andrew Marweed, it was a quake. And on for a different 300-foot shot, we were thinking, oh, maybe this fairway, maybe a little hyzer flip and turn, right? And again, Holland Hanley, it was a buzz. For Andrew Marweed, it was a quake. Their games are so much more simplified, and they execute those shots so much more often. I think that even though pros have way more skills than us amateurs, I think the pros actually play a more simplified game, and that's why they're so much
Yes.
better.
And they can throw lower speeds with more distance, so they're able to use more controlled shots instead of what we have to do of grabbing like a distance driver and chucking it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I actually another name drop. I guess I've played and learned with a lot of pros recently. Cole Radalin, who I actually have a signed disc. I followed him. He played the Lake County Trailblazer, which is our largest A tier near us. So yeah, right after the tour ends, he was down in Florida. Don't really know why. I'm not sure, but he competed in it. It was really cool to see. Um, and basically, he was just explaining how power doesn't actually come from, whipping it and chucking it. It actually comes from being slow. And he told me this little
Yes.
saying. It's slow is fast, or yeah,
Slow is
slow is fast.
smooth. It's
I don't know.
slow is smooth. Is
And
it?
smooth
Wait,
is
slow
fast.
is smooth.
Yes.
Yes. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast.
I'm
Yes.
glad I'm telling you the saying that Andrew told, or not Andrew, but that Cole
Cool.
told me, and you're just like, actually, this is the saying, Justin.
Yeah. It's the same saying that we use like when I was learning when I did track riding for motorcycles. It was always is everyone dives into into turns as quick as you can and you're off balance everyone's like no no no, you want to be slow is smooth and smooth is fast, so you got want to get your body position, get off, lean, smooth, nice and smooth, and as soon as you come out hit the apex, back on the throttle.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same exact concept then.
Yes.
That's how you get more. It's efficiency, right?
Yes.
That's yeah. You don't want these extra motions. You don't even want that loud whip sound. Even that whip sound is extra energy that's just being wasted. So
Yep.
I'm with you, 100%.
Yes. So really quick, any changes to your bag since last time that we chatted?
Oh yeah. I'm basically spoiling my whole series coming out because I'm doing it in the bag, right? But so my bag, I'll tell a fun little story about it. About I'd say about 6, 7 months ago, I decided that I was gonna lock in a bag and I was gonna start selling a lot of my collection and then also trading a lot of it so I can get bag backups. And basically, since then, I've whittled my collection down to about 10 to 15 discs that aren't bag backups. and then I have about 70 to 80 discs on these racks that are all bag backups. So my
Perfect.
bag is yeah, so my bag is locked in, and my bag's actually modeled after Gannon Burr's. The
Ooh.
reason I'm yeah, so it's kind of cool because I've loved bag building. I think it's so much fun talking about what you might need, making tweaks, making changes, getting discs. I love it. That's why I started YouTube for the review parts, right? I wanted to
Yep.
buy discs, make reviews. It's so much fun. But for a competitive player, that is the worst thing you could possibly do, right? So
Yeah.
to make my Gannon bag, I did two things. The first thing was I copied his bag completely, not the discs, but the slots themselves, because
Okay.
his bag is built around the idea of not having any overlapping stabilities and distances. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'll have two discs that are the same stabilities, but one's going to go 50 feet further than the other. Um, so I align with like his philosophies, but also I try to play the game like Gannon, and all that means is by all I'm trying to say is I try to play the game purely. So if a shot calls for a forehand, I want to be able to throw a forehand. Or if it calls for a backhand roller, I'm throwing a backhand roller, for example. His bag, I mean, if Gannon can cover every single shot at 550 feet, I feel like in the same amount of slots, I should be able to do that at 350 feet, right?
Yeah.
So I locked in my bag, and another really big tip, I've never heard this before. It's probably just common sense, so no one says it out loud. But when you're getting ready for a tournament, I think you should have your comfort discs in the bag. And let me give you a little explanation of that. These are all of my Lunas. So
Hmm.
I have, I don't know, about 10 Lunas that I've thrown, put in the bag that I've just loved over time. I've gotten them because they're shiny, because they're pretty, whatever the case is. But
Yeah.
let me grab the actual one. But the one that's in my bag is the one that I've thrown in 3 different times. Might not be my favorite plastic, might not be, my ideal Luna, but this is the one that I'm the most comfortable and confident with. So it's my comfort discs. I
Yep.
take all of my new ones out and put all my comfort discs back in. So I have discs in here that I have that I've been bagging for almost 2 years. And I've only been playing for 2.5 years. And it's just because I know exactly what it's going to do. I'm not second guessing myself, and yeah, I've actually never played better. I really don't
Y-
want to say that because PDGA kind of shares scores, and you're going to see me shoot like a 750 rated round for the tournament build up, but no, I'm I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I've never played better.
Yeah. I understand that because for me, especially up here, the snow finally melted away, so we're back to green grass finally. So I threw back in my beat up anvil that I always keep in my bag for my upshots.
Yep.
And that one is just like that's my comfort one. I know exactly how to finesse it, so it does exactly what I want to get down towards the pin.
Oh, can we just talk about for a second the how important the approach slot is? I mean, everyone
Yes.
knows that, right? But I'm saying like your comfort approach. This is my zone. I've had two zones over the course of my playing career that I've bagged for a long time. This one is basically understable at this point. I've hit so many trees with it. It's no longer usable. And this was my replacement when I learned what I wanted in a zone. It's a puddle top. It's amazing. I love it. I lost it for 6 months. And during that 6 months, I know I lost it for 5 months, and then a buddy of mine found it, tried to give it to me for a few weeks. I'm a dad. I don't have time to meet up on the course. It was my bad.
Yeah.
But the second I got this back just a round ago, so last weekend, I'm not kidding you. My game just completely unlocked the forehand touch game.
Yeah.
I never realized how important that specific approach disc is in your game. But once
Yes.
you don't have it, my game fell apart for 6 months. So
Yeah.
it was in shambles.
Yeah. So on top of that anvil I just put in, I always keep two extra anvils in my bag at all times, just in case I lose that one. Because if I lose that
Okay,
during a round, I'm done for. I won't have an approach shot. So I
so
always bag extra anvils in there.
So let me tell you my little thing that I've been doing because I think this is actually like a really fun way of having backups in your bag. So just play this little game with me for a second, all right? Pretend
Okay.
you're coming to visit me down in Orlando, and you have a book bag and you have all your clothes in there, and you only have a spot for 4 discs, okay? Your first one is your putting putter. So that's it. Now you
Yep.
have 3 slots. What 3 discs are you bringing to come play all of the Orlando courses?
Easy.
Mhm.
I'll bring a felon and two anvils.
Okay, so now that is what I believe should be your bag backups. So
Yep.
this is the philosophy I have for like amateurs, newer players, MA4 is build your bag and leave 3 slots open. And then build a bag of 3 discs that you think you can play any course with. And those become your backups because if you lose one of those, you still have it and technically you can still play any course with it, right? Maybe
Yep.
it's you don't have your utility slot, so you might be stuck in a situation, but you can still play the course. Your game won't be impacted too much.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at my bag, like at any time I'm on the course, I'll always have 3 anvils in there and 6 sake bomb felons at all times.
And that is a forehand player for you.
Yes.
Oh, you
All
have more
right.
beef in your
So
bag than a butcher's. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
All right, enough chit chatting about ourselves here. Let's deep dive into this
ooh,
tournament that went down over the weekend. Like,
the
on
big hard open. Yes.
yes, I mean this. Oh my goodness, this tournament was the first one I felt like I was watching MotoGP race. Like I was on edge of my seat the whole time. Like I couldn't
For
believe it.
FPO and MPO, I was like, yes, 110%.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the course layout going into this weekend, and also the big hype about the T pads?
Okay, so let me talk about the course first, and we'll talk about T pads after. So how do I say this? I thought the people being critical of the design were pretty valid. And I only say that because it's a brand new course on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like a disc, courses get beaten in to perfection. Like I know this firsthand. We were just talking about the new course they built for the tournament coming up. And although it's been, mowed, been weed whacked, and been worked on so much, just like the Big Easy Open here was, it's still not the same as the original course that I've been playing on since I started because all of the walkways have been walked over thousands of times. And those fairways have just been walked over and the ground has been smushed down. So I understand the concerns. I mean, you have to realize this was a swamp. They took sand and dropped it on it and then planted grass. Yeah, it's not going to be as good as just Olympus was, a few weeks ago.
Yep.
So I do think there was some valid criticisms, but I don't think there's any valid criticisms of the design itself because the thing I liked about it was that the best player in the world won at both MPO and FPO. And the reason I like that is because the course called for every single different kind of shot. So it called
Mm-hmm.
for these flexing backhands, flexing forehands, these hyzer flip forehands and backhands. And only the players who had all of those shots in their games and can execute them at a high level were able to be consistent. You had Ricky Wysocki, Gannon Burr. Obviously, we're probably going to talk about that later. And then you had Holland Hanley, who basically ran away with it from the beginning. So I thought the design was kind of flawless, and if anything, I think we need to keep stepping it up. I think every single year, take out the easiest one, put in another hardest one.
Yes.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, and
Yeah.
then the
For
second
me,
one's sorry. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, you go.
yeah.
My bad.
Just really quick, I'll
Mhm.
make mine really quick. For me, it was amazing to see this because it made me think that these are the best players in the world struggling at one of the hardest courses in the world, and that's the way it's supposed to be every week. Because now
100%.
they're not just throwing just a basic hyzer. Oh, parked. Okay, putt. There's another bird. No, we're watching hit trees like we do, and then having to scramble. Like this is the first time where I watch these pros actually get stuck and have to scramble, and it was awesome to see because it's like, oh hey, I have to scramble like this. What are they doing? It was mind blowing.
I think you really did touch on it at the end there. I think so many people wanted to see the pros struggle, and not even for the fact of like jealousy or anything negative, but just for the fact of seeing them play the way that we have to play, right? Like, I want to see what Silas Schultz does when he hits the first available and he still has 330 to go. Not because I think that it's fun to watch him struggle, but really because I want to improve. I want to see what these pros are picking in those situations that I find myself in all the time. So I think you really covered it perfectly. But I do have to say, I saw a lot of stuff on Facebook about people who just want to see pros struggle to see them struggle. That's not really, I'm not a
Yeah,
fan of that, right? Like, yes, I think courses can be hard, but they need to be rewarding. And the fact that Gannon slash Ricky, because they were so close, but Gannon and Ricky were the best performances, as well as Holland Hanley, kind of proves that they were both rewarding and fair.
Yes.
hmm And
So
then,
what'd you
okay, the
think
T
about
pads.
yes, the T
Yes.
pads.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I play on courses literally that have rubber tee pads sometimes where I'm doing standstills because I'm forced to. So out of jealousy, I'm like, yes, let's like put them everywhere. I think it's so cool. But practically, I mean, it's really cool, and it's like I don't think they're changing the game by any stretch. I think if all pro tour, level courses had that on 118 or just the signature holes, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a nice evolution, but I actually really like is it HD02? I forgot their acronyms, but I
Yeah.
like the smaller one. I like the one that it was just less exaggerated. It was more of like a barn shape, if you will.
Mhm.
Um, I thought that one was really good because I don't like, or I like the extra space in the front of the tee pad. I don't like those clips like Kevin Jones when he got that falling ace. That shouldn't happen. That you should be able to
Yeah.
have that run up, have enough space. But also, I mean, we're also a sport that works with parks crews. We work with conservation groups. We really can't always put in these giant parking lots for every single hole. We have to be thinking about the environment. So on some level, I think they are cool. I think there was a lot of thought that went into them, a lot of engineering. I think James Conrad is so happy. But like other than that,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna, push the boundaries. I personally think there's more of a future in like elevating turf tee pads and changing what those are because they're not great in rain. So if we can get them to more NFL quality level, and because yes, they use cleats and different level of turf, and it's a different conversation, but if we can get to that level of quality, then we should be able to put them anywhere, and then people like parks crew and conservationists, it's not even an eyesore, like there's really no damage. So I think that might be closer to the future, but I mean, they were pretty cool.
Yeah. So my original thought of the T pads was, oh, this is not cost effective. Like it's hard enough for like just normal size T pads, concrete ones get put in. Like it's expensive, and it's just like, does the PDGA really have, or even the Disc Golf Pro Tour, do they have the money to toss around for these professional size T pads? So at first I was like him hauling. I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea or nothing. And then once I really understood that the course used to be a swamp, then I was like, you know what? Drainage. It's going to be, if there's any type of rain, it's going to be muddy. And then I was like, my personal pet peeve is like the way I stand to throw a shot, like I stand at the back of the box and then step onto the tee box. And my pet peeve is when I have to stand in mud and then step on the tee pad. Like it just drives me nuts. So I was like, you know what? Maybe that's what their whole goal was, to eliminate that whole issue, because now you have extra space to get your feet kind of like clicked off and all set, and then you have a clean shot. So if they could figure out a way to uh, make T pads a little bit better, like where you don't have that mud issue, but also make it like not expensive, then I think that's got a potential.
Absolutely. I want to say, I think that the second version is kind of what you're describing then, because it's really just a longer T pad. It's not much wider. The one thing I didn't It's not that I didn't love it, but I wasn't a huge fan of seeing people take almost a 90-degree angle on the tee pad. Again, you can do that in a normal situation, but 9 times out of 10, you are having to go from a different elevation, which just makes the shot harder. So yes, if you wanna break a hole, do it. You just have to take on the risk of going on different elevations. Maybe that's more of an amateur thing in like a park style course, not really pro tour. I'm not really sure. I guess I'll just leave the comments to debate me on that one.
Yeah. So heading into this tournament, who were your people that you were watching on both FPO and MPO, and why?
Yeah, so FPO is easy. I have 2 favorites, and it's kind of just like bandwagony at this point, but I have stories for it. So last year I met Owen Scoggins at the Supreme Flight Open, and she came over, like she was talking to like 50 employees and pros and like this big group. She left them all to come over to tell me how cute my son was. And that was like, dude, that was like the best day of my life. I was like, oh, Scoggins? What? And like it was so cool. And then this is her destroyer that she signed for me. So I'll actually grab it. This is literally my favorite disc of all time. So
Oh
this is the
wow,
Swirly Star Destroyer. Her signature's here, and then she actually signed it here at the
that's
Pro
really cool.
Am. Dude, it was awesome. So I was really looking out for her because in these really hard courses, you need to have that veteran mindset and that mental game, and nobody does it better than Own. Um, One of the things I try to do is just pretend I'm Own for my mental game, and that's
Hmm.
just because she's so happy-go-lucky. Nothing matters. She hits the first tree, she's joking about it with her card mates. Like that's just the kind of mindset you need. And I think what she get top 5, 10. I think 5.
I think she was in top 5.
Okay, yeah, I thought she got 4th. Probably should have checked that before this. And then the next one was Holland, mainly because I just played with her at the pro am. I loved watching her last year. She had the most dominant year. She was player of the year, all of the great things.
Hmm.
Um, and well, obviously Holland showed out. When you have a course that calls for distance but also a variety of lines, you're going to need an elite power thrower but also somebody who has both backhand and forehand capabilities. So
Hmm.
right from the beginning we kind of saw that. I mean, um she was like what, middle of round 2 was Rebecca and Holland. They were tied. And then after that, there was no chance of anyone catching Holland. Even Missy coming close within 2 strokes, it never really felt close. It kind of just felt like, okay, Holland's getting warm. Okay, Holland's taking strokes. Okay, now she's up 6 again. What just happened?
Yeah.
And it just happened so fast. So I thought that was really cool. And then the MPO side, this was so I've been doing hold my bag this year. So my top 3 picks are people I think are going to win. That's what I try to use them for. And then 4 and 5, I try to go safer just to get points, which bit me in the butt this week, whatever. But my tier 3, I was looking out for Luke Taylor, and Luke Taylor, he actually won me both of my leagues. I think I got first in both my leagues because he scored like 92 fantasy points. He is okay, so he finished the Supreme Flight Open on a Paul Macbeth heater, and I don't say that lightly. His
Oh
first
wow.
round, I think he was +7, and then he cashed. So he went from yes, he took that and then kept rolling with that momentum. I think that we're only like 1 to 2 weeks away from people talking about him, from talking about Luke Taylor, like he's the next man up because I genuinely think he is. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to pick him in tier 3 for hold my bag again. I think I got lucky. Um, but yeah, he has the forehand, backhand. His putting, I wouldn't say is elite, but it's also not bad. He's not quite, Aaron Gossage, where it's like, oh my God, best thrower of all time. Once he gets the putt, he's probably going to be the best in the world kind of player. He's more rounded than that, but he's not quite your Gannon who just does everything yet. But yet he's young. He just got promoted to the Discraft Elite team, which when people go to new manufacturers or they get promoted, they put in extra work, they get more wins, they
Hmm.
improve. So he's someone I want to look out for. My tier 2, which I think we were going to talk about some disappointing players. This one is a little bit of a teaser into that. I had all my money on Kyle Klein doing really well here. I thought this course suited his game. He is long in his limbs, so that gives him that elite power without having to overpower it, right?
Hmm.
So he's a shot shaper. He hits his lines, and that's really what he's known for. And he's pretty versatile, but he just did not have a great tournament. I think he finished +11. Um, and the last one was Gannon. That was my tier 1 pick. I mean, like I said before, I knew, or not that I knew, but I had a feeling that when you have a course that is the longest on tour and the pros are all saying the lines are impossible, you got to just lean into both being the best and veteran play. So I wanted to pick Ricky. I was actually going to think about picking Paul if he ended up playing. But because Paul pulled out, I ended up going with Gannon. And yeah, I was really happy with that pick, and I think Gannon was extremely happy with his performance going down the stretch. Controversy aside, like, I think the controversy robbed us of what really happened because what happened was Gannon got so incredibly hot. His putt on 17 was kind of like
That was
like an
huge.
that was an iconic moment,
Yeah.
and in like 5 years, I think people are going to remember it as like that was the shot that turned the tide for the first ever Big Easy Open. And that's when the greatest player of all time, Gannon Burr, we're projecting 5 years, but the greatest player of all time, Gannon Burr, won the first ever Big Easy and he took down Ricky. I just think it was a really big moment we're going to look back on and think, wow, that was really cool. And no one's going to remember a couple of sticks, you know?
Yeah. Gannon Burr should be nicknamed the Iceman. That dude is just does not break under pressure.
Bro, that he is the Iceman, and he's the only person who could get me to bag Discmania, and not because I don't like Discmania, it's only because I don't have backups for it, and that's because I have this signed function. Literally hit sign one time, just again the same pro-am I just played at. But yeah, no, Gannon, he's probably my favorite player playing right now. I'm just a fan of disc golf. I love watching great disc golf. I love watching greatness, and I mean, he's what, 20 years old? Come on,
Yeah.
he does everything. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm basically a Gannon fanboy at this point. My bag's built after him. I'm watching him live coverage all the time.
Yeah.
All right, if he watches this somehow, you need free marketing. Just let me know. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, heading into this for FPO, I was thinking own just because she's got that flex forehand that is consistent, accurate, and she can rock a backhand pretty good. But what I thought was going to be a huge factor was her putting. Like I was thinking, no matter where she's at, she'll drain putts all over the place like usual. So I was like, all right, own all day long. So and then for the MPO side, after watching Ezra's and Goose's uh practice round, I was starting to see that this course would be like definite Simon line and Crush Bro like heaven because it's just like some of these shots, it's just like, you know what, that's a Simon line. And it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm about to witness for the first time what everyone bragged about for years before I got into disc golf is the Crush Bros are so amazing. And I was getting pumped up and I was like, maybe I'll actually be able to see Eagle on coverage for like the first time ever and chuck those forehands that he was known for. So I was excited heading to the weekend for that, but yeah, didn't play out that way.
Not quite, but listen, MVPs. Yeah, I know Simon is. I mean, I bag like three of Simon's discs, so like I'm a huge Simon fan, and I'm like you. I'm post Simon era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm when he was on MVP was when I was getting into disc golf. So yeah, I think that lines up.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so I wanted to say Silas Schultz. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? You see the feature cards come out,
yep.
and I'm like, okay, MVP gets to pick their person. Like it's great. Like they have a new signing in Silas, and it makes sense. I
Mm-hmm.
think he signed long term, and Goose was only like a 1 year contract. So it like makes sense. Let's push our guy and let's get him out there. And I kind of thought it was a little bit of like a participation trophy for him to be out there. And that's just because I was unfamiliar with his game. Dude can ball. Like,
Yeah, he
bro,
he was doing Simon lines better than Simon. I was like, when I was
yes.
watching that, I was like, come on, Simon, where are you? Like, dude, this is your game. Like, come
Yes.
on.
Well, but you gotta think about it. Silas is, I think, 22 years old, right? And
Yeah.
he's been playing since he was a kid. So he's inspired by Simon. He's been watching Simon since he was young. He's been throwing those lines since he was 14. Now he's on the pro tour doing it at the highest level. And I do actually, I have a Silas Schultz. This is his new trail. It's a
Ooh.
money run. I got it signed by Jay Millie, Silas, and then a couple of the Armory guys. I love Armory Disc Golf. They're really cool retailer. They're one of Silas's sponsors. So I wanted to, give Silas a shout out there because he
Yeah.
was so good. Like the one thing that I thought, or the one thing that I guess I wasn't really anticipating going into the round was how much of an impact the mental game would have on the newer players, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I actually expected Taylor Chosick to get a podium. Not expected, but I was really rooting for it.
Yeah.
And I don't think she did bad by any stretch, but she didn't podium. I mean, that was clear, right? And I thought Silas would be another player like that after watching the FPO in the morning and then getting ready for it around 2 o'clock. But no, he was just stone cold. He hit his lines when he had mistakes. He recovered and he hit his putts. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah. So here's a good question for you. Do you
Mhm.
think Eagle's struggle is because he left Discmania and went to MVP, or do you think it's because of his shoulder injury? I think maybe if he would go back to Discmania, maybe he'd start having success again.
So, okay, so when it comes to that, I want to speak just based on, I don't want to talk about the discs because I'm biased, right? Like
Yeah.
my bag is most like 50-50 Discraft and MVP. Like I have one, two, I have three Eagle discs in my bag. This was just taken from my cart. I bagged his Thrill, I bagged his Boost, and I bagged his Eagle Envy. Um, and I bag a bunch more MVP and Streamline. So I don't want to be biased. So I'm just gonna talk about more of like the mental side of it. When
Hmm.
he was with Discmania for a while, and he also had his Innova made Discmania that he bagged forever.
Yeah.
And when you're forced to switch bags, I do think it takes a long time to get comfortable. Like if you told me I had to switch to one of my two manufacturers, my game would take a really big hit. It would, and I own replacements for all of them in the other brand, and it would still
Yeah.
take me a while to get there, right? And when you're talking about the highest level of pros, which Eagle is, the margins are so small. The difference between your Gannon's to your lead card versus your third card is not that big. It's a really small difference between, caching at the top versus caching at the bottom. It's just those little things. So I actually do think there's some validity in the idea that if he went back to his old Discmania bag, his Innova made Discmania, and he had those old discs, maybe he would actually perform better. But it's also could be a case of, he got hurt, he got kind of caught behind the time. He went from the prodigy to just being, an adult disc golfer now.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't want to ever question a professional's work ethic because that is ridiculous. You don't get to the
Yeah.
top without working hard. But maybe after his injury, he wasn't able to work as hard. Maybe his game did literally suffer because he had to milk it, or not milk it, but he had to go through PT. He had to fix his arm and or shoulder and everything. So I think that maybe he wasn't able to put in the work.
Yeah. Do you think that there's still also some like maybe a mental block where like he's hesitant to really throw full powered forehands again because he's afraid of completely destroying that shoulder?
Definitely. I broke my ankle almost a decade ago now. Geez, whew, I'm old. It's been about a decade since I broke my ankle, and there's still times where I'm running and I'll hesitantly slow down before turning right because I don't want my left ankle to twist and possibly break again. There's 100% mental side to it. It's just, did you see the throw it on the mountain? Did you hear about that at all?
No.
So that's the tournament that happens at Olympus. So following the Supreme Flight Open, same
Hmm.
course, a little bit different layout. Some of the pros stay on because there's a week between the tournaments. He shot a 15 down, which was it wasn't, but it felt like an 1100 rated round. It was
Yeah.
incredible. It was just literally miraculous. So he still has it in him. It's just that consistency, and the consistency is just going to come with time because he's getting back on the tour full time. Now he's back, but he's getting
Yeah.
back healthy on the tour full time. This is going to be year two of healthy, so I think he's going to be good.
Yeah. All right. So who are you surprised that you seen kind of struggle out there this weekend?
Yeah, so I don't even want to talk about it because like I watched the practice round with Goose and Ez, right? I watched actually their practice rounds are some of my favorite content. I think
Yes.
I think those guys just from doing it have taught me more than any like of my buddies simply because like I'm just learning from great players
Hmm.
and seeing Ezra struggle kind of, it was questionable. He's not the most consistent. When he's great, he's great. Like he
Yeah.
can compete with Gannon at literally any tournament, but it just felt like he could never get it going in this tournament. I think he finished 11 over, missed cash, which was again, he was competing for my tier 2, which is a very high pick and hold my bag. So I thought very highly of him. So I was just a little disappointed to see that. Are you gonna ask me about who I was excited about though? Am I getting
Oh
ahead of you?
yeah, we could you could do that too.
Because there's one person that like I got very excited to follow because I saw his story on Facebook. His name's Woods McHugh. Okay. He is a disc golfer from Pensacola. I think he placed I think he was plus 11 as well. No, he's not plus 11. I think he was like plus 26. But he's a under 18-year-old kid making his first ever of stop on the pro tour. It was
Jeez.
the hardest course on the pro tour. Didn't get it last and wasn't even close to last. And I was following the scores like dude was doing great. So I just want to give a
Yeah,
shout out to him. Like Florida disc golfer on the come up. I'd say in like 2 or 3 years, be on the watch out for him. But someone a little older than him, Ty Love. With Ty? Am I mixing up his name?
I think
So
it's Ty Love.
yeah, that's what I thought it was too. Okay. Sorry. I've got a buddy. I have a buddy and his family name is a Love, so I want to make sure I'm not mixing up their names. But Ty Love, I'm not familiar with his game. I only learned about him watching Disc Golf Network. Turns
Mhm.
out he competed with against Gannon back in like their MJ 15 days, which was pretty cool, like in the Amateur World Championship. So he's been like competing at high levels for a while. Seeing him take that -6 and then ending up, cashing very high at
Yeah,
this, I think it was his highest pro tour event as well. To do that at a course this difficult, that was really cool to see. How
yeah,
about you? Who was your like biggest surprise? Not even biggest surprise, but who are you happiest to see? And I think I know your FPO because she was phenomenal, especially in round two. But I just want to hear.
yeah. I was for MPO. I was really surprised with Isaac Robinson because he doesn't have a forehand, and this dude is just like lacing up this course backhand, just backhand only, and it's like holy mackerel. And this is only his second year with Latitude 64, so he's a trilogy boy. So definitely
Yo,
shout out to him.
wait.
So
Who
yeah,
texted you? Who texted you saying that Isaac Robinson was gonna get a top finish?
definitely you.
Come on now. Come
Yeah,
on.
I was surprised because I was definitely down on him. I was like, "There's no forehand in his game," and I'm like, "You need a forehand for this," and he proved me wrong. And it was amazing watching him just lace it. And for FPO, Missy almost uh had Holland, so she Missy's a New Yorker like I am, so definitely got root for her. But yeah, she almost had her. And like I was texting you that what was it yesterday
Mhm.
we were texting each other because we were both out, so we didn't get to watch coverage right away. So we're texting each other back and forth about scorecards. I'm like, here she comes, she's gonna catch her. So that
And I was
that
like,
was really
hold
cool.
on. Hold on. Here comes Holland.
Yeah, yeah, and we got to with what within 2 strokes, and then like 2 holes later, it just like something happened, and I was like,
Yep.
what? But yeah,
Absolutely.
that was the cool thing about this course is nobody's lead was safe at all.
Never. And I mean, at what was it, 13 at MPO when Ricky hit that 50-ish foot putt, and even
Yeah,
on coverage, live coverage and Jomez, they were calling it the dagger. And no, that wasn't the dagger. It wasn't even close to over yet.
yeah. So let's jump into this. I know this is going to be an interesting topic between Ricky and Gannon. What did you see and what was your takes on it?
Okay, my take is so simple. Okay, I've been reading the Facebook posts. I've been watching the videos about it. I've watched it live, watched it on Jomez, and I've watched it probably 5 times since then because I want to have like a really good opinion. Like I'm saying it in the podcast, it's always going to be out there. I can't delete this comment. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple for me. It wasn't called a violation. That's it. Like at the current point of the sport, we have to just go by the rules, and the rules state if it's not called, that's the end of it. There's
Mhm.
no replays, there's no going back 2 holes later, none of that. And you can't use video, it's in the rules. You can't watch live coverage, pause it, and show a marshal. That's against the rules. So once the card ruled that there's no violation, that's it. Now personally, I just learned of a rule last night that was added in that basically said that if a disc or if a object is dead and unattached while in front and behind, you're able to move it. When I looked up the rule on PDJ.com, it didn't exist. I looked up the number, I couldn't find it. It was just a Facebook screenshot, so I'm giving it a 1% validity. That's why I don't really care about the rules. I don't really care about the nuances of section 72B/C. I don't care. The card ruled that it wasn't a violation. That's really all I care about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from what I seen, it really like did make a difference with his shot and the outcome of the scores. And I know like I wasn't too fond of how coverage was making it like, oh, Gannon's talking to the marshals. Like, who cares? Let him talk to the marshals. He's allowed to. It's not that big of a deal.
It's part
And
of the
then the
game.
conversation they had after about it, it's just like, let them talk it out. It's not that big of a deal. So stop spinning it like, oh, Gannon's being pity about it. It's no, Gannon had a legit question about the rule, and he's allowed to ask the question. It's fine. It
He's
didn't
supposed
change,
to.
didn't affect the scores or anything. At
Right.
the end of the tournament, Ricky and Gannon walked off like buds, so like they really are anyway. So it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's a self-governed sport, so you're supposed to ask those questions. You're supposed to like, you have to be a player and a referee. That's a very hard thing to do, right? So, I
Mm-hmm.
don't really get the backlash for Gannon, for Ricky. I There's a saying that I grew up on, ball don't lie. If somebody calls a bad foul in pickup basketball, odds are that next shot is not going in. So like there's a little bit of that. Ricky didn't win. So if you really think it helped him, guess what? He got second anyways. Like that was what was gonna happen. Disc doesn't lie. I'm
Yep.
I'm a brand. That's a new saying. Disc don't
There we
lie.
go. Just don't lie. There we go. Instead of hips don't lie, it's just don't lie.
Because my discs don't lie and I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Wrong
So the
show, wrong
final
show.
question I have about this tournament is: do you think that there is a place on the tournament on tour for all the courses to be like this?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, we just like the game is still evolving, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I think that in 5 years' time, Gannon's going to be the best player ever, and I think in 15 years' time, somebody I don't even know who exists yet is going to be the best player ever. So if the courses stay the same, it's going to get kind of boring. And like we said earlier, I like that little idea we kind of joked around about. But what if we just put the courses on a tier list and you have all the pros rank them from hardest to easiest, and the easiest one gets taken off and you put another hard one on? If the courses don't get harder, then the disc golf pro scene won't get better. So
Mm-hmm.
just for the pure fact of evolution, I think that they should get harder. But I know you are like huge in disc golf course design and everything. So I want to hear your take on this more than anything.
Okay, so my opinion is like if these are the best players in the world, I want to see them get challenged every single week. I don't want to see the wide open golf shots. Like me personally, I love those courses because I'm an amateur. I'm never gonna go on the pro tour, never gonna be at that level. So I shouldn't like it shouldn't be expected for me to constantly want to compete on these in like crazy courses. But for
Hmm.
me to tune in each week, it's almost like I'll use this reference. Like when I watch MotoGP, it's the best racers on motorcycles every single week at the best tracks. And it comes down to literally it's literally the best of the best. And that's the way
Hmm.
that the Pro Tour needs to be. Best courses for the best players. I loved like this course had like the water carries. It had trees all over the place, which is great. You had to get unique with your scrambling and some tee shots, and that's everything that I feel like every pro tour course should have, where it forces the pros not to be able to just park a shot, but actually have to break it down. And then if you're in a situation, they'd have to scramble out and show that, hey, I'm a pro. I can scramble. I can fill these all these weird shots and everything, and this is how it's done.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. And I think one of the cool things that the Big Easy really did, as well as the Supreme Flight Open, actually, no. Hold on. Pause. I think one of the things that Big Easy Open did well that the Supreme Flight Open didn't was it showcased the land and the area very well. And the only reason I say the Supreme Flight Open doesn't do that is because that the Supreme or Olympus is nothing like Florida. Literally nothing like it. It is a old limestone quarry that was converted to a disc golf course, and over the course of 15 years now, it's been honed into this beautiful course. But it's not Florida disc golf at all. It's a completely unique situation, which is really cool. But I would love to see a tour where every single stop felt like the place, and it was almost highlighting the area, right? So like Florida disc golf really is about, there's a bunch of water, bunch of gators, there's a bunch of palm trees, sand. Like, let me ask you, Josh, you ever thrown on sand?
No, I've ran on sand and it sucks.
It does suck. Have you ever? But now imagine trying to X step on sand and then trying to get a disc to skip on sand. Those are very difficult things to do.
Yeah.
And I have what's called a dry pond. So Florida, we flood all the time. So we have these big ponds that are literally empty with sand in them. And that's where I throw and do my field work. It makes sure my discs don't get damaged because there's no trees and stuff, but also it works on your standstills and stuff. Those are very unique things to Florida disc golf that have no, like, you don't see that at the Supreme Flight Open. But for New Orleans and the Big Easy, you saw those big, beautiful trees, and you saw, the marshy lands and no ground play and everything that goes with Louisiana. So I just think if we could do, or I think the Pro Tour could just do a better job of having these courses that showcase the beautiful land. Like, I don't know much about upstate New York, but I imagine these beautiful Seattle-like forests, right? These huge trees that are hundreds of years old. That's
Yep.
the kind, like, almost like the European tour when they go up to like Denmark and stuff. That's what I kind of imagine in my head. So why don't we feature that? And I think they do a great job in Europe. I think some of the courses in the States do a great job of that. But I think we need to lean into it and really emphasize like the landscape and the culture of the area.
Yeah. Yeah. For around here, we're like most of our courses are hilly. There's
Yep.
tons of elevation changes, lots of trees all over the place. That's kind of like what we're known for. There's like not many flat courses around here.
You know what's crazy about the Big Easy Open though? How difficult they made it with no elevation.
Yeah.
It was flat, like it was like Florida. It was incredible, and it was still so difficult and tons of different lines. It's really cool to see.
Yeah. Bottom line is Pro Tour better to start stepping up and making like a lot more courses like this.
Yeah, I think this was a great start though. I
Yeah.
think that they're on the right step. Let's just see what they do next year. I'm really excited if they do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. And plus with the scores being this close, it definitely brought people in and kept people tuned in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I hope that they get another course like this. I just want to know what my $50 is going towards.
Yeah.
Just want to
Yeah.
know.
All right, my final question for you tonight is where can people follow you?
Yeah, so I have my YouTube channel, Chain Theory DG, and then I also have my Instagram, same thing, Chain Theory DG. I also have my personal Instagram attached there. I don't let people follow me, just like my friends. So Josh follows me, but that's it. But yeah, that's it. And if you're looking for review content, battle videos, pro tour analysis, tournament prep now, really anything disc golf, if I would watch it, I'm gonna make videos about it. So hopefully you enjoy it.
Perfect. All right, buddy. Have a good night.
You too. Appreciate you, Josh. Thanks for having me on.